Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the 18 to 49 podcast. I am your host, Alea Williams, joined by our other amazing host, Brandy Holmes. And today is like a really special show. I think it's going to be amazing and just really interesting. And we are all in our feelings. But Brandy and I are joined by a super special guest that we are totally excited about. And I'm totally going all geek girl over here. But we have Miss Sola Bamis on the show.
Yeah.
From Mad Men. She's Shirley. I've been shouting out Shirley.
Shirley in the house.
Hello, ladies. I'm excited to be here with you all.
Yes, we're so excited to have you here. And I'm such a Mad Men fan, so I'm really excited to talk about your role on Mad Men, the season, all that good stuff. But I think we just have some big stuff to talk about first that we should probably just dive into and shake off.
Yeah.
Brandy?
Well, if you don't know by now, Dr. Maya Angelou has passed away, and you know, she was a wonderful woman. If you know nothing about her, you will know everything about her after you just tune into anywhere on the web. She was 86 years old, and she died in her home in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And she was just a phenomenal woman all around. You may know her as being an activist. She was a writer, a poet, a singer, a dancer, an actress, just so many amazing things that she's done. And one of her most notable works is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Phenomenal woman. She's done the inauguration poem for Bill Clinton. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, not Still I Rise. What did she do? It was the, I'm just drawing a blank right now because I'm really into my feelings right now. But she did a wonderful poem there. So we just want to pay homage to her on today. And just remember Maya Angelou, because she was just incredible.
Yeah, she was.
Did I cover it?
I mean, who can really cover it?
Yeah.
Right. Who can? I mean, she's just brilliant, poetic, and just wise more than anything. I woke up this morning and my sister told me about it. And when public figures die, I have different kind of feelings. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for their families, or, you know, I reflect on things that happened in their lives that may have been good or bad. But for her, it actually hit me personally, because a lot of the things that I've learned in life, relationship stuff, job stuff, just general self-worth things, are like derivations of quotes from her. And it was just kind of like, I just lost a mother, sister, girlfriend today. Like, and even though her memory lives on and we've got jillions of quotes from her, just all of that, it just feels like, wow, so we don't get, like, I can't nuzzle in her bosom and get more wisdom anymore. It just, it really did feel like a loss. So yeah, it was different than most other times when I've learned of, you know, the passings of public figures. It was very, very like,
you know, and I feel like it was that way for a lot of people. Just the tone of it just seems so different. And I think it's because she's so prolific and had so many amazing things to say during the course of her life that, you know, people were pulling from everywhere. You know, I'm like, oh, she said that? Like, there were all kinds of quotes and things coming out that I'm like, oh my gosh, I never even realized that she said that. And then, of course, there are the things you do remember, like Phenomenal Woman and all of that. And it was just interesting going through everyone's quotes and their memories of her, and people talking about how, you know, she did touch them personally. There were some friends of mine who went to USC their particular year. She spoke at their graduation or something like that. So, I mean, how amazing is that? So they're all just recalling that time. And I was just thinking, like, even her quotes and her work, they just apply to everything, to life, to work. And as I was going through for Sola and the audience who may not know, I do a lot of networking and women's events and things like that. And just so many of the things that she had to say just seemed like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect for our community. This totally speaks to, where we're at as women, as entrepreneurs, and I never even viewed it through that lens before when I read these things. And it just felt like such a hit everywhere because her work just applied to so many things. And
Right.
she has such a rich body of work. It's really incredible.
Well, the one thing that always just stuck out to me is, her voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Was, not only was she incredibly wise, and whenever you watched her in interviews, she always took a moment. Like, I was watching an interview that she did with Dave Chappelle, which was really incredible, which was right. Yes.
Wow.
I gotta post it. So it's
Please do.
It's what she did with Dave Chappelle, and it was right after he had turned down the deal, Comedy Central. I think it was back in like 2006, and she just was just spilling so much wisdom on him in regards to his choice and his decision, and basically how to mourn that loss. And it just, her voice though, among anything, you could just sit there and listen to it, and it'll just lull you into a place of peace and serenity. She just all around just incredible. And she was the epitome of like reinvention. She reinvented herself so many different times and overcame so many different obstacles that it's just, you think about that work and just the inspiration that she left. It's really encouraging, to continue to pursue your dreams, continue to live the life that you want to live. That's everything she preached, and you can do it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. We love you, Maya Angelou.
Yes, we
And
love
we will
you.
forever remember you, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just one of those people who, we all pass eventually, but it was the first thing I saw. I got on my computer, I loaded Facebook, and the first post I saw was about her. So it was the first thing I saw for my day, and it just felt like, oh my gosh, she's one of those people you just thought would always be around,
Yes. Yeah.
So it's been a day where she's just been on my mind all day, and just her impact on, me as a person and on our world. So we are truly, truly grateful for what she contributed, during her time here on Earth.
Yeah.
Whew.
Hopefully we can all leave such a legacy.
Right?
I know. Yeah. The thing that I first thought of when I spoke to my sister too, she said, she passed at 86, and I'm at 86, and I was like, she did good.
Oh, yeah.
She was here physically for a while, but she also did good. Like, she did good. Like, she came on this earth and she did so much for so many people. Like, her impact is definitely felt. It's not just like, oh, I heard about, Dr. Maya Angelou's passing, I can make a sandwich. Like, she was the kind of woman who, after you hear of anything that she does, you take pause.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the respect that, that I have for her, and I'm, legions of women, generations of women have for her. And I think that says a lot about the impact and what she did in her life. Because not many people can live to, I'm sure there are a lot of, 96-year-olds who can't say that not that their lives weren't of value, of course, but who can't say that they made as quite an impact as she did. So she's amazing.
And she was still traveling around too. Like,
oh yeah,
she was still doing engagements. She was still going to dinners in her honor, things like that, even at her age. And so it's just, that's the beauty of having a mission and a purpose in life, and really being clear on what your mission and your purpose in life is, and living your own legend that you can continue even at her age to be present.
Yeah. And what you said, Sola, you just sort of had to stop. Like, you couldn't just go make a sandwich, or you kind of had to pause. Like, this morning I got nothing done. Like, I just sort of sat, and I'm like, I just want to read what people are saying and assess how I'm feeling and just go through this. And I told all my clients, I emailed them all, I'm like, no posts are being sent out today. We are doing no marketing this morning. Like, just so you know, I'm making that decision for you. Like, this is just not happening, and we're just going to chill, and we can get back to business tomorrow. But I just felt like, if you want to market, you can do it yourself. But today,
I heard that. Do it yourself.
Not happening.
I had to go to the movies after. I didn't even hear about it. I wasn't looking at anything on the phone. I was driving most of the day. I was out of it at meetings, things like that. And Alea actually texted to me, and I was like, "Who died?" And I was like, "You know what? My work day is over."
Yep.
I am done. Thank you, and good night. I'm going to the movies.
And good night.
I'm going to the movies. I'm shutting it off. I can't answer any of your emails. Forget you people.
Right. I mean, I feel that like I'm not doing nothing else for nobody.
Nope.
Not even. I'm reading Maya Angelou poems all day today.
All day.
I might even record some and send them to people.
Anyway. Just send a little love bomb,
Yes.
Can only brighten their day.
Definitely.
Oh, man.
Okay. Thank you for allowing us to do that, people. We appreciate it. It was necessary.
We had to get the feelings out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what do we want to talk about?
But now we transition and we get to talk about Sola. And it was just funny. I was riding around today and I was heading home and I was like, I was excited about having Sola on anyway, but I'm like, oh my God, she's so perfect. She's into art and feminism and she creates just amazing and funny. And I follow you on Twitter, Sola, so I see your tweets and, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, who better to be on the show with us today? So I've just been really, really excited. But I feel like maybe we should give our audience a little background on who you are in case they are completely out of the loop.
Even I know who she is.
Brandy's like, and I don't even watch the show, but I know.
Hello.
But, you're on Mad Men, obviously playing Shirley, which we're very excited about. And we can definitely talk about that. But share with us a little bit about, how you got into acting and maybe how you even ended up on Mad Men, like what a little bit of your creative journey was and how you wanted to get into acting.
I've always wanted to be an actor. I always talk about who my first Black actress was, who was, of course, Angela Bassett. And, she was my first Black actress, but I had a whole slew of them who I would watch and, watch their films, their TV movies, whatever TV shows they were on. And, that was the Angela and the Whitfield and Vivica Fox for a long time. And, I was just a little girl. I grew up in Miami, Florida, and just watched a lot of TV and movies and, enjoyed watching Black artists do the thing that they did. But my parents are Nigerian immigrants, and that means that I was destined to be a professional. Yeah. And professional actor was not one of those things. So I went to undergrad at the University of Miami, and I was a chemistry major. I was pre-med, and I was supposed to go and be a doctor. And it wasn't until it was some boys thing happened, of course, that, made me sad. And then everything started to fall apart. And I was like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to go pursue acting. And my parents were like, excuse me, you want to do what? And so, my parents had gone to plays that I had did through high school, through college, through all of that. But, it's one of those things that you got to do and you enjoy it as a hobby, but that's not what you were going to do. So, and all through, I had done research at Stony Brook in the microbiology department. I had taken the MCAT. I was going to be a doctor. I had applied to medical school. It was just, that was what was going to happen. And then, as luck would have it, I met a guy who was a loser, and that led to me, wanting to go live my life and do exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I took a year off, and then I took a year off. I definitely knew I wanted to go to grad school because I didn't get undergrad training in acting. I definitely wanted to go to grad school to do that. So I went to California Institute of the Arts in Valencia, about 30 minutes north of LA. And I, got my Master's of Fine Arts in acting. And I, at the, we have a showcase and, we do all these things that get agents and people to see us. And an agent came to a show that I did my second year, and she signed me just people in my life who come and they change everything. And she was one of those people.
Yeah.
And she signed me, and it was, I had working with her throughout my last year. And then also, since I graduated 2011, and, just doing bit parts here and there, auditioning, making a lot of mistakes, and also doing some really good things in the room, and booked a couple of co-stars, things like that. And so last year it was close to Halloween. It was probably it was 2 days before Halloween. No, it was the day before Halloween. I got this audition for Mad Men. Had never seen the show. I have the season 1 DVD in my house because my brother bought the season 1 DVD for me because, you know, he was like, I heard this is a good show. You guys should watch it. So never got to it. Just never did. My other sister, I know, right? My other sister is a huge fan of the show. So, you know, it was just like, well, let me watch a couple of episodes to get ready for this audition. Let me get the tone of the show, all that stuff. I prepared for it with a friend of mine. I had 2 different scenes. One of them was the flower scene. And then the flower scene was Dawn. And then the other scene was another scene that was written for like another episode, like maybe a season before. So we actually worked on that scene because there was something in there that my friend saw that, you know, maybe you should do this differently. Maybe you should work on that. So we worked on that scene ad nauseum. Of course, I get into the audition and the most important scene they want to get to, of course, is the second scene. So, you know, I get in there, but, you know, just going because it was definitely something that I wanted to do, but because I hadn't seen the show, I had just come back from working on another a guest spot on another television show. So I was just like euphoric. So went in like all happy and just being myself and went in there with the casting directors and Matt Weiner and Scott Hornbacher, the other executive producer, and just did my thing. And he asked me to do the second scene again and again and again. And, you know, I had to regroup a couple of times and he was like, you know, just like, take it easy. He was like, you know, you're funny. And I was like, that's interesting. Cause, you know, and I made up a little bit of a story. I was like, oh, that's funny. Cause my boyfriend doesn't think I'm funny. And he was like, well, everybody who's with a person, they think they're funny, but their mate never thinks they're funny. And so we had a little laugh about that. And so, you know, that was the end of it. I went home and that was it. Hear about it the next day. My agents and manager called the next day and was like, you are, you know, they want to just like pass it through the network to see how things go. And I'm just like, okay, well, I wish you guys hadn't told me that because now I'm like sitting on pins and needles. I asked all my friends and family to like wish me well. And the end of that day, I got a call from actually, it's so funny. I was in Target and I had no reception on my phone.
There's never reception in Target.
I know, right? Like, it's like a vacuum of like Target and IKEA. There's never any reception.
Because they don't want you to call anybody to have them talk you out of the purchases. Yes, they don't want you to talk you out of the purchases.
Yes,
because you always go to Target.
You Target.
Yes, you spend $1,000 in Target. You only intended to spend $5,000.
Right. You're like, I just wanted a toothbrush and you got all this stuff.
Exactly.
And so I had been waiting by my phone all day. I go into Target, didn't get any calls. When I get out of Target, I have a message from my manager to tell me that I booked it. So, you know, I was very, very, very excited. Initially, it was just going to be a one-day guest star, but it turned into, you know, what was 4 episodes in that first and, you know, and up until that mid-season. So, I mean, it definitely turned into more than I thought it would. And it's really been amazing. Like, just because now that I've gotten to watch more Mad Men, I watched the first season and the 6th season, and now I'm going back to finish the rest of it. It is, I mean, it really is a fantastic show, and it really does have a really huge place in our canon in terms of modern television. So to have been a part of it is amazing, and I get to wear, you know, 60s clothes and an afro and all that. So I mean, really, like, you know, what could be better as far as like one of like a breakthrough role for me. You know, I really couldn't have asked for more.
Well, see, now the show, Brandy, Sola started from where you are. So now it has a stamp of approval from someone who wasn't a fan. So are you going to watch now?
I know.
You know what? She sold me. She sold me before I even heard about the afro. So yeah. Okay, fine. I'll watch it, gang. I promise.
Just to not get on it too late. Like, I was so fortunate to have watched Breaking Bad while it was going on, because if I had heard one single smidgen of a spoiler of that show, I would have murdered at least 3 meerkats. Just somehow. I would have found a meerkat and just like demolished it. So it's like, I'm telling you, Brandy, get on it now so that once it's like totally over, when people are talking about it, they don't tell you everything and you're like, I didn't see that part yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd totally be pissed. I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Well, you have a year now.
Okay.
So you have a year. It's doable. It's doable.
If I can't get it done in a year, then I've got a real problem. Something's wrong with me if I can't get this done in a year. I'll make the commitment.
Yes.
You've heard it. You've heard it here first. One more convert to the Church of Madmen.
Leia. We could be very good at this cult thing.
I think so.
TV.
As long as you guys have black sneakers, I'm in. Like New Balance ones, all black New Balance, I'm in.
All black. He's like, I'll believe what that person says. They have on all black New Balances.
Those are the most trustworthy sneakers in the industry. I don't care what anyone says.
They will never fail you. They will never fall apart.
They sure won't. Anyway.
No, it's true. It's true.
So I have to ask.
Yes.
Shirley's clothes, and of course the fro, we all love. But the clothes, you came out and I'm like, how does she wear that? How does she...
And I ask myself questions like that often, like, because it's so funny because when we're in the fitting, but because the skirts are, just period wise, the skirts were that short. And every time, like my first fitting, like all the clothes fit so perfectly, only except for the hem. So the arms were cool, like the waist was cool, like everything fit perfectly except they had to take the skirt up. Oh. And so when they took it up and they put the pins on, it would always be like, oh, this is a nice length. Like I can still be comfortable. And then always when I get on set and I have the actual dress that's completed with the hem like done, where I like the point of no return, it's like, this is shorter than it was 2 weeks ago. Like, oh, they got me. Like I was always like, they got me. So it was always, but it's like super cut. Like one thing too that saved me is pantyhose.
Oh, okay.
There's a difference between like having like your bare skin just like tingling out. And then like having pantyhose, there's just something protective about it. So the pantyhose, like usually they go in to save the day.
I forgot. Women didn't leave without pantyhose back then. So
I know. Yeah, you couldn't get.
And then obviously they're saving you from some sort of rash from all that polyester and the material. Because if that's scraping against your skin constantly, I'm telling you, there's some kind of chafing that probably is going to be happening on set.
Yeah.
Every time you would come on screen, I'd be like, how does she get through the day? I couldn't even wear that in my house.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Like, I feel like you have to learn how to walk, like the whole thing. Because I feel like, you catch a breeze indoors and it's just over.
Yeah. And not only that, and then, so the skirts would be one length on set. They would be one length at the fitting, another length on set. And then watching them on television is like, what the heck? I'm like, whose child's dress am I wearing? I'm like, what infant's clothes am I wearing? It's just a total different experience each time.
It's so basically like you and Kiernan Shipka, who plays Don Draper's daughter Sally, that have the shortest skirts on the show.
Yeah. They're the same skirts.
They're the same skirts.
Yeah.
Because now Peggy and Joan, they're getting a little more like, okay, we're older. We're going to get a little more conservative. Not that Peggy was ever not conservative, but it's like you guys are the trendy like style setters. Because even Dawn is much more conservative, buttoned down. So you and Sally, when you guys come on screen, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They're going straight to the disco after work.
Okay.
To get their lives, staying alive in the disco. My mom totally had a dress, though. I'm looking at photos online, and the reddish dress with the floral print and the white collar, my mother totally had that dress. She may still own it, as a matter of fact, if I go in the garage. Wow. Yeah. You can borrow it if you need to.
Just knowing my mom, like, I can't imagine her in something like that, but I'm like, she probably did have something like that. Because that was just the style.
Yeah, she's totally rocking it.
Yeah.
My mom had her day, I'm sure.
I know. Sure. Yep. Oh yeah, all of our moms had our day. And you're kind of like, you mom? And then you're like, I'm glad you had your day because that's how you met dad.
Right. Exactly.
So, I know you live tweet, and Brandy's a fan of live tweeting, and maybe by next season or the end of the season, she'll be live tweeting Mad Men along with us as well. Yeah. But were you sort of watching how the season unfolded with the rest of us? Did you know? Like,
I knew Very, very, very little. And it's interesting too, because going into table reads is also very, or like, like hearing the episode at table reads is also very different from watching the episode. Like I remember watching the premiere and being like, I don't even remember that scene. Like I don't remember that scene at all. And then being like, oh, that's why it's so funny, even though I should know what's going on in this episode. Yeah. And I also, just even spoiler alert, Brandy, and, to the listeners, the mid-season finale and the death of, one of the important figures in the show, it was kind of like that hit me because I didn't know, because I wasn't in that episode.
You weren't in that episode.
Right. So like we know nothing. And there have also even been times where I've like come back after not doing an episode and been like, wait, what just happened? And they're like, oh, that happened in the episode that you weren't in. And I'm like, oh man, like, like, can I get the Cliff Notes or something? Like, I know nothing. So it's like, it's really like, I'm like so many discoveries along with you guys. So it's all like in fun and everything.
Yeah. I think that's one of the fun things about like watching your tweets along with it is because some of it you are seeing for the first time. So your reactions are just like everyone else's.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Like it's cool that other casts of other shows like that they live tweet too, but they know what's gonna happen, and so you can tell they're just like repeating what they said at the East Coast time again for the West Coast. Because right. I've checked, I'm like, wait, you said that 3 hours ago.
I know, right? That's messed up.
So I love your reactions. They're very like real time in the moment. So it's super fun because everyone else is kind of like tight-lipped for Mad Men in terms of like social.
Oh, it's fun though. I mean, maybe they're tired of it. Like this is this is my first.
Yeah, this is your first season.
So I'm like super excited. But maybe they're like, we were doing this, man, like 3 years ago. I'm done. John Hamm's like, get the phone out of my face.
Yeah. So what do you feel like is next for you, or what are you looking forward to doing? What kind of role would be your dream role to play?
Wow, that's so hard. That's always so hard. Like a dream role is always a famous person. I still haven't gotten that famous person yet. Like I would love to play Michelle Obama, but I would have to like gain 6 inches in order to do that. I know people are going to be like, no, cut. She can't. She doesn't fit the cut. No, bye.
Yeah, really buff arms. Like you'd have to just work out your arms.
Like, no, like that's it. And then like we're stilts the whole time. So like I think a dream role is like, playing someone great and important and who's made an impact. Like that would always like come first to mind. Only that person who I fit hasn't like emerged yet. So I'll wait on that. But I mean, just like, I just want to do great work as an actor in general. So just a role that's not one dimensional and just, just like, that's not sassy for the heck of it, or even funny for the heck of it. Just like something with gravitas. Just
ooh, I like those words.
Yeah, that's what actor words. Yeah. So I mean, just like just definitely something that someone else can, a younger, maybe a Black girl from a younger generation can look at and say, "Oh, I want to be an actress because she did that." So, something that'll be impactful will be my dream role. We'll see. We'll see what that is.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And it's awesome to hear you talk about that passion and what you want to go after. We talk about all kinds of shows on this podcast,
right?
From the reality and the crazy to dramas and comedies. And, it's those shows that stick with us where the characters aren't one dimensional. And it's just, I think we live in an interesting time because in the 60s, 70s even probably, there were just so few networks that everybody watched the same shows and went to work or school the next day and talked about the same shows. Right. And now we have hundreds of channels with tons of programming, and there's just so much garbage. I mean, we watch some stuff, but there's some like other stuff that's like another layer down where like I just can't even go. But there's just so much stuff, and there's so many one-dimensional characters. A show really stands out when the characters are layered and deep. And I think, even though your role on Mad Men so far has been small, like we've only seen you in bits and pieces. It's like everyone on there that passes through Mad Men, there's something about them, something about the way they craft these characters and the way all of you actors on that show, you know, play them. We want to know your backstory, or we make it up or something. Like it's such just a great show with characters that have many, many layers. And it's, you know, a show that people talk about and they'll remember. And there's so many that we wouldn't. So being part of projects like that is amazing. Will create an amazing legacy for you, you know, as an artist.
Thank you. Yeah. It's very, I mean, I can't, like, for this to be something early in my career, I really do feel very grateful for it and very fortunate to have gotten this opportunity, because it took a while for me to really understand that this was a big deal. Yeah. Like, I guess I didn't really know because I hadn't watched the show, but and also because we shot like, you know, about like, you know, like the first time I got on set was about Halloween, a little bit after that. And, you know, as you see, the show aired in April. So it was like all this time where I couldn't say anything, where people weren't really saying anything. But as, you know, like the media and the marketing for the show got heavier, I was like, okay, this is a big deal. So I was like, it kind of got like, wow, you know.
We launched our show just before the season started, and Brandy can tell you, she can testify. I was like, I need someone to come over and hold me during Mad Men, because
it got really dramatic. It did. And the thing that I found most interesting about it is Alea is a faithful, extreme advocate for the show. And when we were talking about it, she's like, well, it's not one of those kind of shows that's going to give you the cliffhanging moments. And the first few episodes were just, you know, a little bit of dialogue. It wasn't that exciting, but you just got to stick with it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Right. That sounds like watching paint dry on the wall, or like slitting my wrist. Like, why am I going to stick with it? Like, why is it fun? Right. You just have to listen. So last week, a guy was crocheting on screen, but you just got to stick with it because it's a really interesting story they're going to pull from that. I'm just like, okay, girl. All right. All righty. I'll watch it maybe one day.
Right. Right.
But now you're going to watch it this year.
Yeah. Now I'm seriously going to watch it this year. I've made the commitment.
It's just, you know, I don't know how you would describe it, Sola, but, you know, it's not, this season had some cliffhangers, and there's a couple here and there sprinkled throughout. And I know you haven't seen the whole thing yet, but there are some cliffhangers here and there. But it's just, I feel like it's a compelling show without the cliffhanger, without the whole, like, scandal, SVU, like, wait till the last 5 minutes. The last 5 seconds are going to change your life. Like, I don't need to be stressed out like that. Like,
yes. Yep.
So I don't know how to describe it, but like, if you want that show, Mad Men is not that show, but it's like Brandy said, she did a pretty good like mimic of me, but you just gotta you gotta stick with it. Like it's there, the story's there, it's rolling out. Like, you get invested in the characters, but it's not like, oh my God, you know, make sure your pacemaker is working properly for this week's episode. Like, it's just not that show.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's very character driven. It's very character driven, and you get invested very early. And the thing, because a lot of people who I talk to, they're like, you know, it takes you got to get a couple of episodes in there before you get hooked. But for me, I was hooked at the end of the pilot, because
me too.
And it was so funny too, because I think I read an interview with John Hamm, or maybe saw one, and one of the things that stood out to me, which I learned after the fact from him, was that you watch the episode and you see this Don Draper guy and he's leading this life. And then when you get to the episode and you realize that he has a family in the, you know, like it's, because he operates like this single guy, this bachelor, like in New York City. You would not expect him to have gotten on a train to go all the way up to Sing Sing to be with his family. Like, that's not the vibe you get at all. So that shocker of this guy who pretty much leads a double life was enough for me.
Yeah.
And then
me too.
As we go further along and getting just more into the double and the quadruple and the octuple light, like what like, because I mean, just the layers of Don Draper spin your head.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it started interesting, and then it just gets more interesting. Yeah.
So, Brandy, I think we've sold you enough. And our listeners who may not watch, they're going to be watching now.
Yeah.
we're going to get those ratings even higher.
Yes. Watch, everyone, now. That's a subliminal message. Everybody watch.
We have our favorite shows here, clearly, that we obsess about. And, of course, one of mine is Mad Men. Is there anything that you watch religiously?
No. I'll just be honest and say no, nothing religiously, because I don't have cable. We just watch Netflix and HBO Go and just whatever is on the Apple TV or the Roku or whatever. I will say that when True Detective was playing, like, we were on it every week. And I'm very big on gathering episodes and then getting them all at once.
Sounds like Brandy.
But after the second episode of True Detective, I was watching every week, which is also something you can't wait, which is so anxiety producing because to have to wait a week to watch television is now it's kind of like an interesting idea, especially because we can get 40 episodes at once. It's like, you mean I have to wait to watch? Wait, excuse me, what? I had an attitude that I would have to tune in
right on
into HBO Go,
Right. Exactly.
You mean I have to be home Sunday at 9? It's so funny how far we've come in that way, because I moved back to the place I'm in now in August. And for 2 years before this, I didn't have a TV at all. So I was Netflixing on my computer. My friend gave me her HBO Go password. So it's same thing. Yeah. And I would binge watch everything. And now that I have cable again and I actively DVR my shows, that's what happens. I watch The Americans, True Detective, these kinds of shows. And then, of course, obviously Mad Men that just finished. And it ends and I'm like, what do I do for the next week
now? Yeah.
My life is over as I know it.
I know. It's so dramatic.
It is. And I'm in the same boat with you, Sola. So I don't own a TV. I don't have cable. So it's really funny that I watch all this stuff, because it's like I'm finding some sort of incredible means. It's almost like Survivor. It's like, how did I find the rice? And how did I get the lucky bucket of toiletries? It's like, I gotta listen, hey, excuse me, can I come over your house and watch your television? Yeah, I just need to watch this show. Sorry, no problem. And then that's when I fell in love with the whole Netflix idea of House of Cards, when they released everything on one day. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yep.
That changed my life.
Neither one of us left the house that weekend.
No.
Because why? Because I have House of Cards. And I haven't finished all of House. Not even the first season. No, I'm not going to say it.
No, you can say it.
Say whatever you want.
I couldn't get through each episode that I watched. I think I watched the first 3 and I had to nap and then come back to it. And the crazy thing is that it's the way that people describe it is very Shakespearean, and I really appreciate that. But it's hard to experience that not on stage, because on stage it's that is happening and I am immersed in it and it's crazy. But watching it lying down on my bed, it just wouldn't. It would lull me instead of get me to the place where I need it to be. So I have to try it again. But Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
It was like eating a plate of brownies in 20 minutes. That's what happened. That's what happened. So I love the Netflix concept. Amazon. They're taking it. Just putting everything out on one day. So that, if we weren't entitled before.
Oh, please.
Exactly.
This is going to take it to a new level.
We're the now generation now. I want it now and I want all of it now.
Yes.
And I'm going to live tweet about it too.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Hashtag now.
Hashtag now. Yes.
Orange is the New Black starts in a week. So we'll all be binge watching that.
So crazy. I can't believe. And it's so funny how it's you wait so long that when it comes back, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's here.
I know.
Oh my gosh, it came by so fast when you have been waiting for a year. And
that's how I was with House of Cards. I made a date. The minute I heard, the second I heard it was out February 14th, I'm like, well, I already know I don't have plans for Valentine's Day. So I pulled up the calendar and I was like, watch House of Cards, order a pizza. That's it. And then when I heard it was dropping at midnight, I stayed up till midnight so I could watch the first episode. Then I had to pass out. Then the next day I got up and I just powered through the whole season. Didn't leave the house.
That's amazing.
Pizza, just did it.
She's
and
impressive.
I'm like, I'm done.
She's impressive.
Wow.
I'm dedicated.
She's impressive.
What?
I feel like Kevin Spacey is just so talented.
He is.
I'd love to watch him work. Like,
Oh.
and he's a triple threat. He sings, he dances, he acts. Like I don't know. He's great.
The many faces of Kevin Spacey.
Right? LA Confidential, American Beauty. Like, I have been a fan of his work for so long. And, he had roles before that, but those were the first ones.
The Usual Suspects.
I haven't even seen that yet.
Ooh, he will blow. You need to watch that.
He will blow your mind.
He will kill you in that movie. You will just faint on the ground.
Writing it down now.
You will faint on the ground. You'll watch it towards when the ending happens, and I'm not going to say anything about it. You will just collapse right on the floor. You've had life alert moments before. This will really send you over the edge. Put 911 on speed dial, girl, because it's going to happen.
He's great.
He is. That's that Juilliard training.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I mean, and he's just great. I mean, Juilliard can't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just bomb.
That's from the soul.
Okay. That's happening this weekend, even if I have to pay for it. Even if it's not streaming, I will pay.
You should be able to find it. Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, you can find Usual Suspects. And I have the DVD, so call me, girl.
Okay.
Friends helping friends.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about,
I know.
It's
It's
all
true.
about who you know.
It sure is.
Hook them up with a DVD, whatever they need. We gotta stick together, take care of each other.
It's a tough road out here. Now, Sola, are you excited about any films coming out in the theaters? We kind of been talking about movies, and our people want us to watch films, and we haven't been going to the movie theater, but we have made a commitment that this summer we're going to be hitting the cinema. But do you have anything you're looking forward to that's coming out?
I'm very excited about X-Men. I will do almost anything involving Hugh Jackman. I mean, except Les Miserables. Like, I couldn't.
That was hard to watch.
Because I started it.
Mm-hmm.
That was hard for me.
It was like, because everything was sung, it was
too much.
It was too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, except for that. But other than that, Hugh Jackman.
Love him. Another triple threat.
Oh,
like,
my
what is he
gosh.
doing? He's so talented.
Oh, my gosh.
Can I tell you guys a secret? Because I just saw X-Men today. And
Depends on what the secret is.
Well,
I know.
It's
not a spoiler.
No, it's not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. No, you're going to see some Hugh Jackman in a way that you've always wanted to see him, and you'll be pleased.
Okay.
That better be butt naked.
You'll see, girl, because let me tell you something. Watch how hood I'm about to get. I was in the theater by myself at matinee time, and I surely did squeal in my seat in the upper third row. I was like, wait a minute. Because they show him he's in the bed, and he doesn't have a shirt on. You're like, oh, okay, cool. And then, he's in this water bed, and I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but he's in this water bed, and he starts to get up, and you're like, wait a minute, they're not going to do this, are they? And he stands up. I was like, yes! And then then he goes in front of a mirror, and that's all I'm giving you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah, thank you. Now I'm like, I got to get on. I'm sick, y'all.
Life alert moment. That's what we call a life alert moment here at 18-40.
And let me tell you something. They didn't make you wait. This wasn't an hour into the movie. I mean, you kind of went into it. I mean, it was a good, it was only about 20 minutes into the film, and you're seeing this. And I was like, wait a minute. This is how you keep me here. I was already going to stay, but thank you. Thank you.
Terrible.
No, but it was I'm not going to talk about it in full detail because Alea's going to watch it. And it's a really good, if you're an X-Men fan, you're probably going to have a lot of questions. Maybe you won't. I did, but just from watching all the movies and even reading a little bit of the comics. But it's still a very good movie. And true to X-Men and Marvel fashion, you need to stay until the very end. And you should know what I mean by that. Make sure you stay past the credits because they always do something suspicious. And they did that this time. And there were so many people that got up. And I was like, what are you people doing?
Haven't they learned by now?
Well, and the lights didn't come up, right? The house lights are still dark. You know something's about to happen. And they're just doing this so you can fall down the steps so you can get a lawsuit. I mean, sit down and wait. So they did do something. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, my God. I cannot wait for the next one. They do this to you.
Wow.
So anyway, it's good. Really good. Go watch it, everyone.
I will make sure to see it this weekend after Maleficent. Just saying.
Yeah. Maleficent will be good.
Yeah, I look forward to Maleficent too. I actually haven't seen a trailer. I actually didn't even see a trailer for. I've decided not to see trailers for movies that I want to see.
Yeah, they give away a lot,
and so I haven't seen the trailer for X yet. So I haven't seen one from Maleficent, so I can't wait to watch it, to actually just get it out.
Now, how do you keep yourself away from that? Because even when you're just like, I'm on Hulu, and it's like, there's the trailers, and I just have to click. You got incredible self-control.
Yeah, because I'm always like, I'm gonna skip this ad anyway. So I mean, like it could be like, find a way to actually get $1 million legit. I'm gonna skip the ad. Like seriously, like just the idea of watching an ad on the internet is so disrespectful to me. Like I'm just like, what? You want me to? No, now. Hashtag now.
I totally think we should start that. Hashtag now.
Yes. Hashtag now. Hashtag now. Ice cream. Hashtag now.
Exactly. They showed a preview too for a new Transformer movie with Mark Wahlberg. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think the James Brown movie
is get on
coming out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that I will see.
September. I look forward to that too.
Did you say September?
Yeah, around there.
Okay.
It's going to be a while. You got to wait. They're going to make
Oh my God, I thought it was going to be this summer.
Yeah, so did I. I think they must have pushed it back. Because that initial trailer, I definitely thought it said summer. But, that's showbiz for you.
Yep.
That's the industry.
It's like the year and a half. I mean, you guys are going to be binge watching Mad Men, so you don't know the pain. But, I think it was between, seasons 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. They were off for a year and a half. It was torture. Because the Mad Men seasons are short. So it's like we just get it back. We get our 13 episodes, and then they're like, all right, we'll see you in 18 months. It was like, oh, no. I don't think so.
That's a long time.
It is. So then I watched it over again from episode 1 because I had so much time.
Wow.
That's when you stay home so you can make sure you're still alive in a year and a half. It's like, what are you going to, it's like, I'm not leaving the house because I want to make sure I don't have any sort of freak accident or anything. Because a year and a half, how do you plan for that?
It's a long time.
I know. You could be engaged to a person who doesn't want to watch that show.
Like me.
Yeah,
somebody like me.
Right. And then what? Then what do you do with your Sunday nights when he's watching football or whatever?
Whatever he's watching.
That's not fair. I know, whatever he's watching, you got to go to your girlfriend's house.
Crochet. You take up crocheting, knitting,
but,
watch PBS.
It's particularly absurd, because most shows on regular networks, they take a 3-month break or whatever. But I watch a lot of USA because I watch SVU marathons all the time. And Suits, which I haven't watched yet, but that's a long running show, I guess, on USA or whatever. It came back, I think, in February, March, something like that. It was on for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever. And now all the commercials are new season of Suits in June. I'm
coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Ended. What? That's kind of like what happened with America's Next Top Model. We used to wait every year, but as soon as they're done with a season of America's Next Top Model, you see the commercials for the next season. And you're like, wait, what is going on?
And that's why when they're like, oh, we're on season 20, you're like, but wait, I'm not even...
It's only been 10 years.
Yes. How is this? Same with Dancing with the Stars. It comes on 2 or 3 times a year. They're like, season 17. I'm like, wait, this hasn't been on since I was a child. Something's going on here.
Mm-hmm. They are rushing.
They really are.
That says a lot about just the industry and just TV these days, where reality, you can do 4 to 5 quote unquote seasons in a year, whereas Mad Men, quality TV, they'll make you wait. They'll make you wait.
They'll make you wait 7 years. You'll be married with 3 children.
Yeah.
Then you'll finally get to watch it.
Yep. Yep.
You'll be telling stories, sitting in a rocking chair, telling the kids, I've been waiting on this. Why did I have to go slave with that voice, though? Didn't I take it to Jim Crow era? Why did I do that? I went straight Alabama.
I
went straight down south. My bad, guys.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh my God.
Television.
Well, I'm excited to go to a theater. It's been a while. I haven't been to the theater since the winter when I saw all the Oscar noms, but it'll be nice to go buy, overpriced popcorn and just hang out and watch a movie in the air conditioning. And I just feel like I did that so much more when I was younger. And
because
I just don't do it.
Because
it's true.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. You have to go donate plasma and take some aluminum cans and donate those to have enough money to get to the movie theater and even watch it. I had to go during matinee. And even the matinee price, I paid $65 for matinee. I didn't get any popcorn. I didn't get anything. I paid $65 to get in that movie, and I was like, "This better be the best thing I've ever seen in my life." Because they hold you hostage for 3 hours now. Every movie is basically 3 hours.
Every movie's
just
long
dedicate
now.
3 hours to you. You know, it was like you remember when Titanic came out, and we were all like 3 hours.
Gone with the Wind is my favorite movie, and people are like, "Oh, that's too long. I would never watch that." I'm like, "But you just watched a superhero movie." I watched First Class the other day. I'm like, "Why is a superhero movie 3 hours long?" What?
Yep.
But First Class is worthy.
The First Class is everything.
Yeah, you have to watch that.
There was plenty. I had plenty of Michael Fassbender. You didn't tell me how much Michael Fassbender was in there, or I would have watched it sooner.
Oh, he's
they do some scenes with him in this one too, and I was just like, you know what? And this happened after the Hugh Jackman. I was like, wait a minute, and it was just too much. No, you don't get any body from him, but you do get a lot.
I got plenty of body from him in Shame, so I think I've hit my quota.
Right.
He can't give us much more. He can't give us more body than he gave us in Shame.
Right.
What? What do you say? Shame or Shane? What's going on?
Shame.
What is
He
that?
plays a sex addict, and you get full frontal like in the first 10 seconds.
Yep. Steve McQueen.
Mm-hmm. Steve McQueen doesn't play.
Why didn't somebody text me about this?
I just feel like Michael Fassbender and Steve McQueen should just do movies together for life. Like in the old Hollywood movie system, like you buddy up with the director and you just work with them because everything they make together is gold. It's beautiful.
Okay, so I'm totally going to have to watch this.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, he said, okay. Oh, my. Okay. So, do I need to watch this on my personal computer? Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yes. Okay. Don't watch it on the work computer.
Don't watch it on it. Yeah.
Look, that'll be the last time you hear me talking about work. Don't. That's a shame what they did to Brandy when she was watching Shame.
Oh man, it was a shame with that podcast. We should have bleeped that part out. That's so funny.
Okay, I'll check it out. That's awesome.
You could have blamed it on something. That's so funny.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm gonna watch it though. This is cool. Okay, great. Very excited.
We just turned you on to something else new.
I know. I mean, let me tell you something. If I come here for no other reason than to be educated, I mean, I thought I was coming to entertain, but I am being educated. This is edutainment at its finest.
Edutainment, i.e., reading Rainbow.
Oh my God, yes! I just donated.
Love that.
Brandy, have you donated?
Donate to what?
Oh my God, here we go. LeVar Burton wants to get Reading Rainbow in like every school. Yeah. And he started a Kickstarter campaign.
Are you serious?
And it came out this morning. He's already reached his goal.
Of course he has.
Of course, he's touched all of our lives. But you should still donate. So anyone listening, including Brandy, just Google Kickstarter LeVar Burton Reading Rainbow. We'll put it on our Facebook fan page too. But yeah, he just talks about the stats in education, and he's trying to get Reading Rainbow into schools, around the country. And he had a goal of raising $1 million. He already hit that. Like every time I refreshed the page, it was just up, up, up. And then I made the mistake of stepping away, and then I came back, and now I can't even get my autograph picture with LeVar Burton.
Oh, snap. Oh,
my friend and I were like,
you out.
I know, my friend and I were like, do we go halvesies on the picnic with LeVar Burton? Like, I want to go on a picnic with LeVar.
Son, there's a picnic. You got $1 million? I mean, what you talking about?
Yeah, right.
There's a picnic?
Maybe we can think about it.
Oh my God. For $600, you can chat with him for 5 to 10 minutes. That would be so worth it.
I know. I want him to do my voicemail message because I never answer the phone. Mm-hmm. So everybody would hear LeVar.
I wonder if you could get him to sing the theme song with you during those 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm sure you could.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't
that's like $300 million you have to put.
Yeah, I bet you would have to. Yeah. I wonder if he even knows the theme song. He should.
I'm sure he does. I believe in him. But it's just, I feel like this is not the show to discuss validity of Kickstarter, but there are some Kickstarter issues, like campaigns I've had issues with. But the second this one came out, I was like, take my money. Just take it.
Yep. Take it.
Put it on Facebook, tweeted it. I even Google Plus'd it. I was like, here, give your money.
Oh my God, you put it on Google Plus? Who even uses
I did put it on Google Plus.
Who uses Google Plus? Alea. What?
Jeez. She went to, it's serious when you go to Google Plus, because I haven't logged into my Google Plus account in at least 3 years.
Brandy, can we take a minute to talk, please?
Right.
We talk about you, Alea.
Right. Right.
I +1'd it. Added a comment.
Is that what you do? Is that what you do on there? Okay.
That's what you do.
I didn't know. I thought you maybe circled it. I was like, what happened? Okay. I +1'd it. I'm proud of you.
It's just, it's funny. It's a different level, obviously, than what we talked about with Maya Angelou. But like reading Rainbow was just part of who we were as kids. Like that was the show.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. There was no one who was ever like, oh, reading Rainbow. Like
you
everybody
were a jerk
loved
if
it.
you said that. If you said that, you were a jerk. And people looked at you and they were really concerned about who you were as a person. Because reading Rainbow was all about literacy. I mean, it was like you wanted to read the books. And I wanted to be one of those kids at the end of the show that gave the book report.
Did.
I was like, you kids are so freaking lucky.
I know.
How did they pick those kids?
There.
How did they pick those kids to be doing the book reports?
Same way they picked up for Sesame Street, I guess.
Right.
I wish I was one of those kids because they'd be like, yeah, you should read it. Oh.
Yeah,
I know. I just feel like that's one of those institutions. There's so much that's changing, and I love what LeVar has done with getting the iPad app created, and now what he's doing with Kickstarter. Like, this is just one of those things that shouldn't pass away. Like, this is one of those things that, if you don't have kids, it doesn't matter. Somebody else has kids, and you want them to have Reading Rainbow. Like, I just want it to go on, and I think it's great that he wants to. He's like, right now it's accessible to kids who have tablets because we have the app, but a lot of kids don't have tablets, but they go to school. Here's how we get it in the schools. Like, and I love that people have already stepped up. Like they did I think for 10,000, you can adopt a school or something, and he'll go to a school, do an assembly, read to the kids. And I love that people are doing it. I'm like, I love that. I love that someone has given 10,000 and is doing it for whatever reason, whether it was their school or not. And there are people out there who have that money. Like there are those generous benefactors, and you just have to tip your hat to them for contributing to something like this, because it does make a difference. I mean, I was a reading fool.
Yeah,
we talked about.
We sure did. We talked about the book club and how many personal pan pizzas we each received.
Yes.
Did you participate, Sola?
Oh, I was a book club whore.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Yes.
You're in good company. Yes. How many personal pans did you get?
I would get maybe 7.
Oh my God,
You're
a year.
You're in it.
Yeah,
You're in it.
Yeah, I was in there. Yeah. And I mean, whenever the book fair came, the book fair was one of those things where you wish you had a job.
Yeah, yes. I saved my lunch money.
I know I'm just 7, but can I please get this and this and this? And I was a big R.L. Stein fan.
Oh my gosh.
Fear Street. Oh my gosh. Just thinking about it, I kind of just want to regress and just like start reading that kind of stuff. But I got bigger fish to fry.
Because it was awesome. Yeah, you never know what you might be able to channel though by going back to read some Goosebumps or some Judy Blume or Beverly Cleary.
Yeah,
there were so many great books. I mean, I don't know what kids are reading now, like Twilight, I guess, but I just feel like we just had like books upon there were so many great stories. And I had a friend who had a baby shower recently, and one of the things the people throwing it for her did it as a surprise. They were saying like, buy a book for the baby and like write a message. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy I'll Love You Forever. Like I couldn't, I wanted to buy like that kid every book. And I'm like, slow down. Other people are buying books too, but there are just so many great books that we had that you just want like every kid in the world to have access to. So it's like another reason why I love this whole Reading Rainbow thing. Like every kid should like dream and imagine, and that's what books do. I mean, we obviously love our shows and our movies here, but that's us not thinking. That's them putting it in front of us. And when you're reading that book and just letting your mind explore, I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing. We love you, LeVar.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high.
I can go twice as high.
Take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. That was my spoken word interpretation.
We got some
poetry. Go ahead.
I put on my black beret for that one. And my black New Balance sneakers. My trusted sneakers. Oh my God. I'm totally, you know what? As soon as we're done here, I'm about to go to the local mall and purchase some black New Balances. I'm going to tweet them.
I might have to hit up DSW or something and like get some shoes. Yeah.
I'm going to tweet them. But like, look what I got, girls.
Oh my God, ladies, this has been so much fun.
So much.
I hope the listeners have enjoyed it half as much as we have, because I'm over here sweating. I'm literally like laughing, hot.
Oh my gosh.
I stood up like 4 times to be like, woo! And I'm like, this is not, they don't see me, so let's sit down. Good. I had so much fun today. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh my God, you were the perfect guest.
Here.
Totally fell into it. Totally fell into the river of fun. Wait.
Oh yes, the natural flow was wonderful.
Swim. And I could swim.
And before We want you to tell everyone where to find you, but before you do, I just wanted to take a minute to shout out all our new listeners, and I hope that they're enjoying the show too. Welcome to the family. We love to welcome all of you to the family.
Super fans.
Oh, yeah, super fans. So we just wanted to give a quick shout out to the people who dropped reviews for us. Thank you for listening. Noah Salas, Kathy RN, Giselle, Cheryl, Aaron Smith. Thank you, ladies, all of you so much for tuning in. We hope you're enjoying the show. Thanks for your reviews. And if you want to leave us a review, go to iTunes, go to Stitcher, leave us some love. We will shout you out on the air. And of course, if you think we're crazy, or you love us, or you are like, hook me up with this Sola chick, tell me what episode of Mad Men she's in so I can skip right to it. You can drop us an email at 18to49podcast@gmail.com. We're Facebook, 18to49, 18to49 podcast. On Twitter, where we live tweet shows. We can't live tweet Mad Men for another year, but we will be there next year, live tweeting the last half of that season. But Sola, tell people where they can find out more about you or connect with you online and follow what you're doing.
You can follow me on Twitter at Crown Like Honey, also on Instagram at Sweeta19, the number 19. And I don't have a website because Twitter, I like Twitter better. So it's like I get to do this in real time. Like, why would I pay GoDaddy? So just find me on Twitter, and mostly because that's where it's so instant. Yeah, and I would love to see all of you guys there. It's been such a fun time, and like this is such a fun show, and like all the fans, like tell your friends about it because this show is amazing.
Oh my God, we did not pay her to say that at all.
We did not.
No, they paid me nothing, guys.
But I did promise her to get her some black New Balances. You guys don't know about that.
She did that on the sly. You guys missed that code talk.
It was subliminal.
Oh
my God. Thank you so much again, Sola, for being here. It was, oh my God. That was so much fun. Claps.
That's great.
Yay.
Had such a wonderful time. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And we'll see you next week here on 18 to 49.
Peace out.